À votre avis, quel est le pourcentage de plantations en Côte d'Ivoire où il y a des esclaves?
Moi, mon expérience en tant que 17 ans, chef d'amicale, sur on étude sur 100% plantation ivoirienne, il faut minimum, faut compter 90% plantation ivoirienne que ça existe, cet esclavage.
Slavery on at least 90% of plantations. That means 2/5 of the world's cocoa is tainted with slavery. And as more and more farmers can't afford to pay their workers, slavery will spread.
The world price of cocoa has been steadily falling for the last 15 years. Yet as the price farmers get for what they grow has gone down, the price we pay for chocolate has gone up. Until last year, the price farmers got for their cocoa was guaranteed by the government, but the World Bank felt farmers were being cheated and believed they'd do better dealing directly with the cocoa buyers. So the World Bank made the government scrap the price guarantee system for the Ivory Coast to qualify for partial debt relief. Since then, the cocoa price has plummeted, reaching a record low this February. Farmers now get less than ever before for their cocoa.
One of the ways they can deal with the squeeze that puts on them, the pressure that puts on them, is to pay even less for the labor they use in the fields, in the plantations, or if they're unscrupulous, to enslave that labor. And the situation of structural adjustment has, in a sense, put the pressure on the farmers to use slave labor to produce cocoa.
Washington, D.C. is the home of the World Bank. Set up over 50 years ago with the specific aim of reducing global poverty, the bank tries to attract the best economic brains in the world to manage the global economy.
To pillage it.
Incentive to relocate to the US, the bank will arrange visas for their employees to bring in domestic help. But it's what happens to those domestics once here that is the concern of Joy Zaremka.
We have all sorts of cases. We've had women tell us that, they have not been called by their names. Instead, they're referred to as the slave or the creature. Or there's a Filipino woman who was required to wear a dog collar and even sleep outside on occasions. You hear of a situation where this one woman was forced to kiss her employee's feet. This is happening today, and these are the sort of things that are happening right here on American soil. And for a lot of Americans, that's almost unfathomable.
To coincide with the World Bank's spring meetings, Joy is organising a protest team to highlight the plight of domestic workers and join the main demonstration against the bank. Her latest client, Dora, was brought over to work for an employee of the World Bank last year. But once in the US, Dora was made to work 7 days a week and forbidden to leave the house. After her requests to be paid what she was owed were repeatedly ignored, Dora finally escaped from her employer by jumping from his moving car.
I can't go out, so I have to remain in the house. I cannot use the phone in the house. They saw me writing letters. They said I should stop writing letters. And if I stop writing letters, they can let me stay with them for 1 year. So I should stop writing letters. I should stop communicating with people outside. They gave me a room in the basement, not finished. They only put iron bed with the small student mattress on it for me. And that was all in that room, the bed I slept on.
The house where Dora was imprisoned is in a prosperous suburb just half an hour from central Washington. We contacted her former employers and asked to speak to them. When they didn't respond, we called in person, but their eldest son was sent to answer the door.
Hiya. Is your mum in?
Yeah, she's here.
We're from British Television. We've been talking to Dora, and Dora suggested we go and talk to your mum.
We're gonna, we're about to leave.
Oh, we won't be very long. We'll be very quick. It's just that Dora's been talking about working here, and we'd like to give your mum the opportunity to tell her side of the story.
No, thank you.
So she doesn't want to talk to us?
Once Dora had escaped, she turned to the World Bank for help.
We recognize that there is a problem if a person comes over in domestic worker capacity for somebody that we have a relationship as employer-employee with. I think it's important as an overview to bear in mind that the World Bank's mission is the alleviation of poverty. So if you look at our mission,
Liars.
it's totally inconsistent for us to retain employees who are abusive to domestic workers. As far as what's going on in this individual case, we are dealing with it. We've made some changes in our roles. If we have to take more, we're certainly going to do that.
I think Dora's case exhibits all that is wrong with the way in which the World Bank is attempting to ameliorate the situation. The domestic worker is the one who's sort of put on trial, who's interrogated, who's seen as the actual perpetrator of the problem rather than the victim of this abuse.